Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Over-Under on 1252 Sports. I'm Harry the Greek. We're going to have a really, really good day today. I'll tell you what, I sure hope everybody has been making some of these plays that I'm giving out. I'm 16-3 on underdog picks this year. 16-3. Not trying to reach over and pat me on the back, but you understand if you've been using these underdogs on the money line at $100 a clip, you would be up this year $3,100 at $100 a clip. It's pretty strong. We've had some 12-point underdogs win the game outright. We've had some 11-point underdogs win the game outright. The question is, does the Greek have any home dogs for you this week? We're going to find out. I want to touch on a little bit on U.S. soccer. Oh, wait a minute. They're not around anymore in the World Cup. It was shameful because I'll tell you what, I was really pulling for England this year. Should have beat France. No reason to. Free kick. No reason to send the ball and airmail it over the goalpost like that. He choked. It's as simple as that. Does that tarnish Harry Kane's legacy for England? Who knows? But that's all I'm going to touch on it. But I'd love to see your comment. Who are you pulling for in the World Cup? Is it Argentina? Is it Viva la France? Who knows? I can tell you one thing. There's a lot of good games slated in the National Football Leagues today, and there's some underdogs that the Greek's going to like. And get this. I'm going to have some proposition wagers for you today. As the French say, oui, oui. Special guest today from the Sports Web, Mr. Peter Blake. He'll be joining us here in about, I don't know, let me see, like right now. How's that sound? Peter!
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Happy Sunday.
Yeah, really happy Sunday. Can you believe it? Yeah, Season's almost over, brother. Season's almost over.
Or Viva la France.
Viva la France.
Viva la France.
Morocco. I'm happy for Morocco. Are you kidding me? I can't believe England got beat like that yesterday.
Crazy, right? It's been a crazy tournament so far.
They were underdogs, and I'm telling you, they could have won that game. They just did not play their best game. And you know what, Pete? Yes. My show's not complete. I got to bring in one of the goofballs himself, Mr. Andrew Davis. Andrew, how are you, brother?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. You looking good this morning? You looking good? You excited for your G-Man?
I don't know if that's the word I'd use, but okay.
Why not?
Beat Philly, please.
Listen, I'd love to beat Philly, but I'm a realist Giants fan. I'm not the Homer guy, so.
Okay.
We're going to jump right into it, but we're going to go to the comments first, and we have something to say. If you have a question or comment, go ahead and post it. We're going to read it live on the air. Heck, it might even give us a different narrative. Or, you ready? Let me find it. You got a question for the Greek, Peter Ray? Wait a minute. It's not Ray. It's Andrew today. Give us a call. It's 727-320-5866. That's 727-320-5866. Thanks, gentlemen, for showing up.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about last week a little bit. Drew, I'm going to go to you. What was your most surprise pick last week? Or not pick. What was your biggest surprise game to see? Like, wow, I didn't know that was happening. Drew.
So if we're going last week specifically, it's probably how well some of the teams played that I didn't expect to play well, like the Rams and the Raiders, who of course obviously played each other also on Thursday, which even though it was this week, I got to say is probably the biggest surprise I've seen pretty much all year with Baker Mayfield's comeback win.
Peter, you want to add to that one, especially about the Rams and the Raiders?
Well, the first half, you were thinking the Raiders are going to run away with it. But then, of course, Baker Mayfield decides to lead the Rams to a win after being there, 24 hours. And then on top of it, that week was 12-1-1 for the favorites. The underdogs last week, it was tough for them. So, yeah, Baker Mayfield, thanks a lot for winning me no money as usual.
Well, but the thing is, Pete.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether to play the total points for the Rams. I did say that this game was set up for the Rams, even with less than 36 hours of having Baker Mayfield. Now I understand they got lucky. They had 100 different scenarios for it to happen. But you know what? It still counts as a W.
Right.
Okay. The bottom line was this: another home dog. And it may have surprised you guys. It didn't surprise me because this is the game I was giving out.
You told me this. You told me that Baker Mayfield were playing quarterback, which we found out, I would say about 20 minutes before the game, that it would be a different outcome, not knowing that he was going to be that effective. But, Sean McVay knows how to basically get the most out of a young quarterback. And it certainly seems like Mayfield could be a part of their future. A lot of people ask me off air, why would the Rams do that? Because he's a number 1 overall pick. The value is there, and McVay feels like he can get the most out of him. And it certainly seemed like last Thursday night he did.
Andrew, you got anything to follow with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see the rest of the year how it goes for Baker Mayfield to obviously be a free agent at the end of the season here. And, a lot of teams obviously be looking for a quarterback. So, if he plays well with Sean McVay the rest of the season, he might be playing himself into a job again.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think he's going to play himself right into a job at the Rams. I'm talking about Super Bowl winning quarterback Matthew Stafford might be in trouble. Not because of the one game that Baker Mayfield played. Let me be very clear about that. Okay? I think there's more to this story in the injury that keeps happening to Stafford's neck. And let's face it, he's on the other end of his career. There's not many quarterbacks that could go that many years like a TB12 and be that successful, but yet stay that healthy. Because really, one major injury comes to mind, maybe two, and they were primarily earlier in Tom Brady's career. But for the most part, he stayed pretty healthy. But as far as Matthew Stafford's concerned, I got a funny feeling they might be in trouble. I'm going to tell you what, guys, I'm going to go right to the comments. I got to give my due diligence to Troy. He says he's first. Of course, you're always first.
That's what you're first in right there.
And Troy says Peter's late again. I know. I know. I keep telling him with his head.
No, it wasn't. It was not late again.
I'm kidding.
Get out of here.
Troy says, welcome home, Brittany. America missed you. Don't even want to go there.
Nope.
You know what? I am going to go there. I just want to see if she's going to come out of that locker room and stand for the national anthem. I just want to see if you're going to do that. Because I'll tell you what, there's going to be prop bets on that. That'll probably be the most anticipated thing. But I'll tell you another thing. I was reading about the WNBA that the players aren't even apprehensive about traveling overseas anymore, nor should they be. They shouldn't be.
It's amazing. If you break the law overseas, you're not going to see some consequences. It's not like over here. If you break the law of another country that basically hates you, you're going to jail, you're going to prison. I'm glad that she's home. But then again, what the United States traded for is a little bit frightening. Just saying.
It is a little bit frightening, and I'm not trying to go down the dark path, but we need to get our service members back, period, the end.
Agree.
Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing I think, though, is everybody's all of a sudden on social media an expert on, trading for prisoners and such. It's like, I'm sure the U.S. probably wanted to get them both back, but maybe Russia wasn't going to give the other guy up no matter what. I mean, we don't know the whole scenario, so I'm glad she's back, but I agree, we definitely gave up a ton. Like, if this was like an actual NFL trade, we'd be like, what the hell?
Well, there was no cast.
Let me think. If I was the
player
president, hang
named
on.
later.
if I was the president, let me think here. Hold on.
Oh goodness.
Where am I? I'm kidding.
Well,
just a little more, a little Sunday morning NFL humor today.
No cash considerations, no player later, nothing.
You got that one that I said to you.
Yes,
Future draft pick.
I mean, it wasn't like a Tampa Bay Rays trade. Say whatever you want to about the Rays not spending money, but if you trade with that team, usually, they win it handily.
Oh yeah,
typically.
Yeah.
Shooter and Stash. Good morning, Shooter and Stash. Good morning. Happy NFL Sunday.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Troy Polamalu says Peter said he stands with Jerry Jones. Peter.
I'm not saying anything about that at all. I think a lot of people just assume that picture from when he was 14 years old that he was against it or something. I mean, it's just crazy at the end of the day. And, athletes calling out Jerry Jones, it just seems, again, very hypocritical. If you're going to call out somebody, LeBron James, call out yourself for the support of China. Call out yourself if you're talking about social justice and you're still supporting Nike with what they're doing over there and what China's doing to other countries. Call them out too. I'm just saying, be fair about it. And nobody would call him out ever.
No, everybody's quick to criticize, but no one's quick to accept.
There's no solutions. It's always, this, and this. And social media has given us this avenue to be political and to have thoughts, but nobody has any solutions. It's all negativity at the end of the day. It is.
Yep. Troy Polamalu says defund Army, Navy, Air Force football. That's not even funny.
That's not funny.
Kevin D.
Shut up!
Kevin, thanks for tuning in. Baker will get one of the 32 quarterback jobs next year because someone will think they can fix him. I don't think it's so much about having to fix him. I don't think he was broken. I think Cleveland tried to break him, though, trying to play the guy injured. Now, look, I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan.
Sure.
Let me get that right out there. I never was. I didn't like the antics when he played for Oklahoma during the bowl game and he's pointing to his crotch at the opposing sideline. It was probably the most insane, ridiculous thing someone could ever do, and then you become a number one draft pick like that. However, with that being said, the guy's got talents. He can make every throw on the football field. He's not fleet of foot by any means. He is elusive in the pocket, but they had no business playing him. They could have ended his career. Seriously.
Sure.
And quite honestly, I do want to see him get another shot in the National Football League because I absolutely love the insurance commercials. It's Baker's house, for Christ's sakes. And, he's sipping his coffee in his robe, walking around. I mean, those are priceless, bro.
Let's think about it at the end of the day. I mean, he has second life here, basically a third chance, a second chance, but he's going to be with the real coaching staff. Carolina was a complete dumpster fire. And if he turns it around with McVay, why are you leaving McVay? Everybody talks about Tom Brady leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you think he wants to learn a new offense, his third straight offense here? That's the key to consistency with the quarterback. Do you think he wants to learn a new offense? Do you think he wants to go to a new team? That's what it comes down with Baker Mayfield. If he's comfortable with the Rams at the end of the day, why would he not stay there, especially with McVay, who's a hell of a coach at the end of the day?
True. Drew?
Yeah, I mean, the reason he wouldn't stay there, though, is the same reason that Matt Stafford is going to stay there, and it's money. If you can say all you want as far as him getting comfortable with the offense, but if somebody offers him $25 million a year to go be a starting quarterback somewhere,
bye-bye.
I don't think anybody's going to offer him $25 million a year, but what I do think
that's about the average price for a mediocre quarterback in the National Football League.
I'm not saying a 10-year contract, but I'm saying if somebody offers him 3 years, $75 million, he's gone.
Even if he turns it around at the end of the day, I still think he stays with the Rams because what we don't know is Stafford's injury could be a lot more critical.
Very good point, Pete.
And it started at the beginning of the year. Let's face the facts. I mean, he already had an elbow injury there. There were a lot of questions about his shoulder, and he's getting up there in age. And furthermore, Stafford has thrown the ball a lot in his career. So if you consider him a pitcher, you would have to say eventually there's tired arm syndrome. So Baker Mayfield may be more than just a guy they're, kicking the tires on. Baker Mayfield may be the quarterback, the future quarterback of the LA Rams.
Well, they could be. And I'm going to be honest with you. It was out of desperation. Okay. Why the Rams went after them. Because quite frankly, they needed a quarterback up underneath the center. So who are they going to put up underneath their injured running back? And I think what happened was, and pardon the expression, is that the Rams stepped in shit and they went, it really doesn't smell that bad. And I think we might have found something here. And that's exactly the way it is. But I will tell you this. There's a lot of people who says, well, what did you see in the Rams? I mean, this team was a wounded dog. Peter Blake even said, boy, this team is horrible. Andrew's telling me, oh, garbage. Everybody's telling me how bad this team is. And I'm like, well, I handicap with the eye test. I don't watch the game, and it doesn't make me different from other people. But when I watched the game from a handicapper's perspective, and I knew, even with the plethora of receivers for the Rams that were out, that Baker, if he was going to play, was going to have a good game, primarily because the Raiders like to play man up, bump and run. I'm going to lock you down at the corner position. They love to leave the middle of the field wide open. All Baker had to do wasn't memorize the playbook, was to throw to a spot.
That's
and
it.
Rely on a receiver to go get it.
Right.
Now, if the Raiders were playing more zone and more Tampa 2 type of coverage, that really would have confused the hell out of Baker Mayfield, because the receivers and the quarterback are not on the same page. With that being said, that's why he had some success to be able to do as much as he did. Look for next week's game when the Rams play, and if Baker's at the helm, which he probably will be, I don't think you're going to see a lot of bump and run and single man up coverage. Honestly, I'm not. You're going to see a lot of protections floating right up the middle. They're going to stop the run and force you to pass the ball. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be something to watch. Does he have the same success? I don't know. I got to see who they're playing. I got to go back and look at the film. But I knew for a fact that the Raiders were going to play a lot of man coverage.
But honestly, that's what coaching can do for you. It can put you in a great situation, which is what they did for Baker Mayfield on Thursday night. And that's the attraction for McVay and the attraction for Mayfield. He's finally playing under a real coach. At the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski's okay. He's not no offensive genius. And then you go to, again, the dumpster fire of the Carolina Panthers and Matt Rule. He just got fired. So to me, it's an overall better situation. And furthermore, the Raiders are a dumpster fire when it comes to defense. No matter how many players they sign in free agency, they haven't gotten it done this year. And as I continue, even though they played pretty good football there for a couple games, Josh McDaniels needs to be fired in the league.
Well, yeah, I'm only gonna talk a little bit more about that game. I mean, like the next 10 seconds. You got anything to add, Andrew?
Yeah, I was just going to say the one thing I would just say is we should temper ourselves a little bit, because in the end, the Rams did score 17 points on the Raiders, who have a horrible defense.
True. Good point. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great point. Back to the comments. Jeff Stassi says, morning, guys. What's up, Jeff? Keep doing that good work for BSRO, brother. Troy Palomalo says, bro, I saw a Navy trying to run the ball on 3rd and 19. Please, they need to stick to military drills.
Sounds like Todd Bowles coaching calls for the Bucs, huh?
Christopher Cole, hey, what's up? Hey, Chris, thank you so much for tuning and do appreciate it. Don't forget to share the show. This is how we grow it organically. And hit that like button or love button or hate button. Don't care. Just hit one of the buttons. Just hit a button, damn it.
Hit something.
How about if we get started with some of these games?
Let's go.
Absolutely. And by the way, my phone line is open too. We're going to try that today. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Wake up, gentlemen.
Really? Tell me about it. There is absolutely no phone calls. Let's talk about one of the New York teams. Some would say the better of the New York teams. The Jets at the Bills. The Jets beat them in game 1. The Bills are 10-point favorites. And get this, guys. 43 is the total. And White is at the helm of the Jets. So who would know more about the Jets than a New York man himself, as Mr. Andrew Davis? Davis, who do you like?
Yes, I think based on your opening there, I might shock you a little bit on some of the things I'm about to say here. But, you know, I think that the Bills are obviously, I think, going to win the game. I think it's kind of a revenge game for them. Keep in mind, that's the game that Allen got hurt in last time they played. And the Jets still barely beat him when he was hurt. So I got the Bills to win. I do think the Jets, though, will cover the spread. This is a crazy spread for this kind of game here. But I do think under on the points, because Mike White is going to have trouble with his defense. He's going to go ahead and throw the ball to the wrong team left and right.
Peter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any respect for the New York Jets, but I actually consider the over. I mean, with the loss of Von Miller this week, it's definitely going to hurt that defense. And I also have said this before. If you have Mike White or Joe Flacco, the Jets have a better opportunity to make the playoffs than the Zach Wilson. So I think a lot of people need to put some respect on this New York Jets team. They've already beaten the Bills. They're going to keep this close today. I would go with the over.
I don't know what to say about this game. I hate division games, especially when they're double-digit favorites. Jeez. I wonder if you guys ever heard that before.
Double-digit favorites for the Buffalo Bills after the Jets beat them. No respect at all by Vegas. Well, what is that all about? Because the Jets have played better, not only defensively, but
Peter,
offensively with White.
It's a great question, and that's why the Greek can't give you out this game. I feel that Buffalo's probably going to do a backdoor cover because I think they're going to be up. The Jets will kind of keep it close. And then, as Andrew didn't allude, but he stated that he thinks he's going to hand the ball over to him. And I just think you might get what they call a backdoor cover. That means a garbage touchdown by Buffalo by their defense. But this is not a real friendly game to play. I think White has a lot to prove, in my opinion. I was talking to Jacob Charnow, probably the New York Jets' biggest fan.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to be honest, he's really in favor of this young man starting at quarterback. And I told him, if you do not get Zach Wilson back up under center here and try to turn him into a quarterback, you're going to get such mud on your face you have no idea. It's going to be another wasted draft pick. And then he alluded and said, I think they're going to trade him at the end of the year. I think they have their quarterback. And I after watching the tape, I'm not a believer. Yeah. I'm just not a believer yet. They went up against a very weak Minnesota Vikings defense this past week. Okay. And they caught them off guard. Minnesota was dominating the game, and then the Jets just came back and started storming back at them. But I think some of that has to do because Minnesota was playing a prevent the win defense. That's just my opinion. I'm going to see a little bit more this week. If the Jets are for real, they need to turn it on. But stay away from this game. Do not bet it. You can bet over. You can bet under. I can make a case for any one of them.
And I would say with Zach Wilson, it's already a bust. He already is a bust at this point because the report a couple of weeks ago from Jay Glazer says not only has Zach Wilson lost confidence in himself, but also the Jets as an organization have lost confidence. And once a team loses confidence in you, and once again, I'll just keep on circling back to this. For me, for the Jets to actually be a playoff contender, which, gentlemen, they are definitely in that playoff race. Mike White, Flacco, playoffs. Better opportunity at the end of the day to win some games.
What?
So
I'll say this, that the Jets are used to having mud in their face. This is nothing new for them. They feel right at home. They think it's like a spa mask or something. They're fine with it. So don't worry about them as far as that. He'll be their backup quarterback long term, and they'll look for their regular starting quarterback next offseason.
Well, who's it going to be? Peter, one word. Who's going to be the Jets quarterback if Mike White or Zach Wilson's not QB1 next year? And they don't draft one. Who is it? One guess.
I have no idea. I have no idea at this juncture. No idea who it would be. I would think they would go either with, would you draft another quarterback? I mean,
no. This team's built to win right now. You can't draft a quarterback. It's just like the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'll throw a name out at you, and you're going to laugh. Aaron Rodgers.
Bingo.
No. Jimmy G.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm saying Aaron Rodgers as well because they got the money.
Yep.
And they're built now to win.
They just love old Packers quarterbacks, don't they? First Favre, now you're talking Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, but you think about it, guys. I mean, they have the weapons there. They definitely have the defense in place. Robert Saleh, one of the most respected coaches around the league at this juncture. So it would certainly make sense. And, of course, at the end of the day, we all know that Mr. Prima Donna loves New York. What better way than to go and play with the New York Football Jets?
He will get destroyed by the New York media. I'm telling you right now, he will be destroyed. It'll be like when
he has to drink some more kratom, and have his outer body experience. Okay,
I'm telling you, it's gonna be like when Randy Johnson came to the Yankees all those years ago and started like punching out reporters and all. It's gonna be just as bad. I'm telling you right now.
Well,
he couldn't listen. Aaron Rodgers couldn't punch his sister out. Okay, give me a break. I'm not going to even follow it up and dignify with anything more.
He has a broken thumb. He's got a broken thumb. Of course, he could.
I know he does, but I have to play a little bit of music because we are officially on the Deshaun Watson watch. Oh yeah, That's right. We're going to be playing that funk.
All that hype for Watson last week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more interested in seeing Randy Watson.
So we're going to turn this down a little bit, but we got
Randy
a little
Watson.
bit of we got that funk playing. It's good massage parlor music, gentlemen.
You shut up and be quiet.
Mr. Randy Watson.
Randy Watson.
Watson.
That boy's good.
Tell me about it. For the Cleveland Browns this week, they're at the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals are 5.5-point favorites, gentlemen. Bengals are starting to turn it on. The over and under is 46. It's going up to 47 because you have to lay a lot of juice to get them at 46. Amari Cooper, he's questionable. And for the Bengals, Hayden Hurst is the only one that's out. For Cleveland, was set up to be fully healthy coming into Week 14, but Cooper suffered a hip injury during Thursday's practice and did not participate on Friday. On a more positive note, they kept Watson out of the massage parlors. No, David Njoku is actually coming back. That's a big help.
It is.
Cincinnati's set to get running back Joe Mixon back in the fold this week after he practiced fully and does not carry an injury designation for Week 14. Gentlemen, do you even like this game? Tell me, Andrew. Cincinnati's 5.5-point favorites. Did they cover the spread, or do the Browns come back and cover it? I don't know. You lay the points or take the points?
I mean, I would definitely say I would take the Bengals easily in this game because look at what the Browns did last week against the Texans. I mean, the defense is really the star of the show there. Watson was only, had 131 yards and an interception in his first game back against a horrible defense.
And a fumble.
So I really don't expect him to do anything. Well, yeah.
And 12 of his accusers sitting in the 50-yard line in the lower row going, "Hi, Deshaun. Thank you for the payday."
Jeez.
Why are they waving? Why do they have to use their hands?
I don't know. They were forced. Oh, that's a good one.
Did you say Forrest?
Peter, do you lay the 5.5 or take the 5.5?
I mean, Bengals right now playing great football. Joe Burrow playing at an MVP type of level. And then furthermore, you also have Deshaun Watson, who's rusty. The offense, quite frankly, struggled last week. The defense and special teams absolutely bailed them out. Right now, the Bengals are playing great football. I'm confident to take them in that 5. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now, Cincinnati's not playing really good defense. It'll be week 2 back for the Deshaun Watson Cleveland Browns. I still think they got a hell of a running game. Cincinnati struggles at running the football. I don't think you're going to see a super show going downfield by Cleveland, but I think you're going to see a lot of ball control, time consuming. So this is what the Greek's going to give you on a very small wager. Play the under 46 points in this game.
Okay.
Because of that reason.
Ball control for Deshaun Watson. Okay.
Yeah, ball controls for Deshaun Watson.
Jeez. You know what?
Shut up! How about no?
Who the hell cares?
Houston Texans are at the Dallas Cowboys, gentlemen.
Oh, God.
17-point favorites. It's the Battle of Texas.
Oh, my God.
But get this. The total is only 44 points. That's all I can say is,
Things to make it go,
44 points, guys. Minus 17. Do the Cowboys cover the spread, or does Houston cover it? The game's in Houston.
I'll tell you this. Anybody have any guesses here for what the point differential has been for Cowboys the last 3 weeks?
It's been huge.
26.7 points per game differential in their games the last 3.
And I'm going to throw a little bit of dagger at the Buck fans here. Their point differential by winning is almost as much as the highest output in scoring for Tampa Bay. Did you know Tampa's one of just a couple of teams that haven't even scored more than 31 points in a game? I just had to look at Peter's face when I said this.
It's disappointing. It really is. And that's why a lot of fans are up in arms with Todd Bowles and this coaching staff, and namely a Byron Leftwich, and not scoring enough points consistently. They're having problems with 20-yard plays down the field. And get this statistics, gentlemen. 3 for 47 when the Bucs face 3rd and 10 or longer. I mean, that is a major problem. You have to keep those third downs manageable. Now, going back to the question at hand, Houston's going to be at home. You would think they would give the Cowboys. I mean, could this be a game where the Cowboys come out flat? I doubt it. Although what Houston's got going for them, Davis Mills back at the controls. Who knows what the hell they're doing at the quarterback situation. I like Dallas though to cover this 17 points. Houston's dreadful, man.
They are. And you know what? I'm glad they got Davis Mills back. The total's 44 points, but let's face it, Houston's missing a plethora of their wide receivers. Wide receiver Nico Collins, Brandon Cooks, defensive lineman Kirk Heinisch, Derek Stingley Jr. has got a hamstring. They're all out. Troy Harrison chest, Mario Addison his knee, Amy Fairbairn, whatever the hell his name is, and Justin McCray's hamstring. Garrett Wallow, they're all questionable. Now, for the Cowboys, cornerback Anthony Brown, he's out with an Achilles. And Leighton Vander Esch, he's questionable.
Sure.
Neither one of those two are really going to hurt this team. Could the Cowboys blow them out? Probably. But this is what the Greek's going to give you. You remember when I was talking in the beginning of the show and I says I might have a couple of proposition bets for you?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you proposition right after the show, Watson?
Well, first, yeah, exactly.
No, that's Cleveland, okay?
Shut up!
Unforced run!
The total points in the first half are 6 points over and under for the Houston Texans.
Wow.
I'm telling you now.
That's juicy.
They're begging you to bet the over. Some would say it's a trap game because the Dallas Cowboys are the best defense in the National Football League. They're not. Okay? They're not. They're a really good defense, but they're not the best defense in the National Football League. Houston's at home. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think it goes over the 6 points in the first quarter. But all you got to do is make it for the half. And, you ready?
Mm.
You don't have to pay any juice. It's plus 125.
Wow.
So if you play 100, you not only get your 100 back, but you're getting $1.25 back. That's strong, man. I like the over 6. That's my first proposition, but I'm afraid to take Houston even with the 17 points. I understand this is a National Football League team, but I do, and everybody knows that I like Davis Mills, but who's he throwing the ball to? I have no idea. But there's going to be, I don't know. Listen, man.
The mailman.
Dak Prescott's going to do something stupid in this game. It's probably going to happen in the beginning. Someone's going to fumble the ball. They're going to get a short field, and they're going to get a touchdown.
Listen, Davis Mills' neck is so long, he can just throw the ball, extend out his head, and catch it with his mouth. He's fine.
He's like Mike Glennon.
You had to say that name, right?
Yes, I did. Mike Glennon.
You had to say Mike Glennon.
As a Giants fan, I don't want to hear that name either.
Well,
as a Bears fan, I don't want to hear that name.
All three of us have been bitten.
The Bucks got rid of him. You know, they got the most.
The Bucks got rid of him. The Bears made him super uber rich, and then the Giants took him.
I mean, I was told by a fan base down here, we used to call the Mike Glennon mob, that he was the future quarterback of this team. And I'm like, there's no way he's the future quarterback of this team. Because if he's your future quarterback of this team, you have no future.
I'll say this real quick back to the game here. So one thing I want people to recognize as well is that the Cowboys have no problem running up the score whatsoever. Look what they did against the Vikings. Look what they did against the Colts. This is not a team that's going to take their foot off the gas like the Dolphins did a couple weeks ago there. So it's going to happen.
I agree with you, but I just hope they don't do the typical Cowboys things. Put their foot on the gas and then run out of gas when the playoff hits. Nothing.
Oh, I thought you meant get arrested randomly after the game.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. Wow.
All righty. Troy Polamalu says, let me guess today's game. Bucks will be down 27-3. But in the last 3 minutes of the game, they will come back to win the game. We're going to talk about that really soon. But on to the next game.
Is that out of the realm, guys? Is that out of the realm of possibility? I mean, Tom Brady, what a marvel, right? 44th career, fourth quarter comeback, surpassing Peyton Manning. This team, for the majority of it, plays absolutely god-awful dumpster juice. And then, the last two drives, Bucks win.
He's the GOAT. He's the greatest advertiser ever for the AARP. It's just it's amazing.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Andrew Davis, because you have now been officially trolled. Troy Polamalu says, real Giants fan knows that Kayvon is a bust.
Yeah.
Wow. Why don't you go ahead and ask Taylor Heineke what he felt like last week?
Shut up!
Oh, you have been elevated. You've gotten your star. You've gotten your badge of honor, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But Troy Polamalu has officially said he likes Andrew Davis.
There you go. Exactly. Troy Polamalu.
Now to one of my best games of the week. We got the Vikings at the Lions. Minnesota may be on the verge of getting Darisaw back on Sunday. That's a big, big addition because they need him. Absolutely. If the Lions are down, Brown, and I can't pronounce his name, is Ewosika. I believe they're both in the offensive line. They will be thin at guard again, and Lozen Sternberg will be, in line to start at right guard. Guys, look. Let me repeat this. Let this roll off your tongue. The Detroit Lions are favorite against the Minnesota. Get this roll off your tongue. The Lions are favorite against the Minnesota Vikings. Say it with me. The Lions are favorite against the Minnesota.
And they've been playing great football lately.
What are they smoking?
Well, this team has learned how to win lately. They beat Jacksonville last week. We all took Jacksonville.
They beat Jacksonville. Ooh.
I mean, they beat the Packers.
Horrible. They beat the Bears.
Right. I mean, they've been playing good football. You got to give them credit.
They took Philadelphia to the end in the first game. Oh my God.
They've taken every team.
Beat my Giants.
Yes.
No disrespect to the Detroit Lions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a statement game for the Minnesota Vikings on the road.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
The total points are 51.5. The Lions are 2.5-point favorites. Do not, I repeat, do not take the points in Minnesota.
Yep.
You will take Minnesota on the money line at plus 140. All your straight wagers, all your parlays, you don't even need to tease it.
No teasing.
No teasing.
You love Minnesota that much.
In this game?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. In this game, I love Minnesota that much.
Yep. I'm with them.
Why? Why do you like Minnesota?
I don't
so much?
listen.
What time's the game?
I could take the rest of the show up, okay, with this game, but I don't want to. Peter, who do you like and why?
I'm going to go with you on this because you're the handicapper extraordinaire. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings, although I think Minnesota is somewhat overrated. I think
they are overrated, Peter. Right. By all means, they are overrated.
The Lions are playing better football. They're learning how to win. But once again, can you shut down Jefferson defensively?
No,
can
you
shut
can't.
down Dalvin Cook?
Nope, you can't.
Shut down Kirk Cousins?
No, you can't.
Like Drew said, it is not a prime time game.
Again, you forgot about Adam Thielen. You forgot about a tight end. You forgot about give me a break. Listen, Minnesota's going to struggle against Detroit's offense with Amon Sam Brown. Okay, I mean, I'm not kidding you, man. It's going to be tough to stop the guy.
Swift, I mean, that's another weapon of theirs. Jared Goff has been playing great football lately. I mean, is there a possibility in your mind that the Lions could keep this close?
No, I just don't. I think this is going to be a statement game. I think Detroit's going to win the coin toss, okay? And they're going to do the smart-ass thing and go, hey, Minnesota, you go ahead and take it out, baby. We got you. It'll be 7-0 real quick.
Well, then I say we bet on that game today, right?
Andrew.
Yeah, no, I'm with everything you're saying there. I think this is going to be a statement game for the Vikings. The disrespect is really got a 10-2 team being the underdog against a 5-7 team. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, and the 10-2 team still has a healthy quarterback, a healthy offensive line, a healthy running back, healthy wide receivers. Hold on. They're healthy.
And 1 o'clock game. That's the key. It's a 1 o'clock game, folks.
Yes, it's a 1 o'clock game.
This is a big butt here. This is a Nicki Minaj butt. They got a terrible defense. Okay, we all know about the Vikings and their defense this year. So
I like how your hands are like this, like a big butt, a big butt.
Will Tick Holloway.
Yes.
How you doing, Will? Thank you for tuning in. Who's going to return kicks now?
Can I answer this one?
Absolutely, Peter.
Thank God Jalen Darden is no longer a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Great kid. Speed, potential.
I think he got a raw deal.
But no, he didn't. I felt like he was the old lady from I've fallen and I can't get up because every time Darden got the ball, he fell down. Furthermore, he's giving you nothing on the punt return. Every time he gets a punt return, he decides to run out of bounds. So thank God Todd Bowles and the Buccaneer organization held this guy's feet to the fire. It's all about accountability, gentlemen. Now, who's going to be the next punt returner? Will be a lot better than Jalen Darden. Hopefully, Scotty Miller, Giovanni Bernard. Hell, they could get somebody off the street that returned punts that would give them more of a contribution than Jalen Darden. Just saying. Good question.
Did Peter just give a good compliment to Todd Bowles?
Yes, he did.
Yes,
Wow.
I did. And they They should have did this. Right. They should have did this in week 2 because
there we go. That's more like it.
Right. I mean, you should have did this a lot sooner, and there should be more players that are accountable, namely a Donovan Smith, who's the most penalized player in the league, although he had this to say, he's dealing with some personal stuff off the field and possibly an injury. So I don't know. There's always something personal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether it's on the field or off the field. I take it.
We're going to get to that game in a little bit.
Yes, you can't.
Back to the comments.
15 points.
Jeff Stassi, the great Jeff Stassi, says Lions will be the Lions. Vikes take it. I have to agree with you. Chuck Anderson. Chuck, thanks so much. Tongue twister. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think that the Bucs defense is going to surprise you. You will find out. The pick from the Greek in this game might surprise you.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, 5th ranked defense in the National Football League. They have not gotten their just due. And at the end of the day, if this offense could show, I don't know, some semblance of Leo Ward, by the way, of consistency, scoring in the red zone, and I don't know, scoring maybe 24 points a game, this defense would be a lot better. Furthermore, Todd Bowles would use some timeouts in that Browns game, which absolutely pains me. You lose to the freaking Cleveland Browns and fat-ass Jacoby Brissett because you can't call timeouts and put the ball in the greatest of all-time hands. You know, maybe we'd be talking about it. But at the end of the day, you leave your defense on the field too long, and that's going to wear them out. Offense has to do their job. It's called complementary football, gentlemen.
Absolutely. I'll take this one. Alex Nunster says if the Bucs can play the 2-minute drill mentality more often, I think the Bucs will win.
Yes.
Actually, no. And I'm going to explain why. Because most teams, when you're in a 2-minute drill, your team on defense is not coming after the quarterback. They're playing a very, very, very soft zone. And that's called the bend, but don't break. But it's even more of a bend because usually the DBs are 20 yards down the field trying to keep everything in front of them. Good observation, but no, not really.
I'm going to disagree with you because I feel like this team needs urgency, especially in the first quarter.
Urgency is a different story, not the 2-minute drill. Big difference.
But the urgency on this team when they go in the 2-minute drill is like night and day. And at the end of the day, this team has scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Come out, smack them in the mouth. Don't let the 49ers substitute. Have some urgency to this team. Have some
easy, young man.
I haven't had my coffee yet, and I'm telling you what every Bucs fan wants to see. Because if you got to see 3.5 quarters, the majority of the game of this offense running on freaking first down or doing the same old thing over and over again, some people are going to have some problems. I'm telling you right now.
I'll say this. I got some thoughts on this, but I'm going to say that we actually talk about the game because people, I think, want to hear about the next game. What's the next game, Harry?
The next game is the Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans are 3.5-point favorites. The Jags saw Lawrence, that's Trevor Lawrence, practice for the first time this week on Friday due to a toe injury. He was a limited participant, but there does seem to be some optimism that he can play this week against Tennessee. Is there any reason why Trevor Lawrence doesn't play in this game? Let me think. No.
Well, yeah, there is a reason because he is your future quarterback. So if there's an injury that could be long-standing and it affects your future of the Jaguars, I could absolutely see them benching him at the end of the day because, again, it comes down
He's playing.
Yeah.
He's playing.
Peter, you're saying that's the smart move, though, correct?
Correct.
So why would you expect the Jaguars to make the smart move?
Well, it's a lot better than Urban Meyer. I mean, of course, you're a lot
I'm better than Urban Meyer, exactly.
You saw flashes of brilliance, and again, you saw...
I liked Urban Meyer, guys, when he was with Florida.
Shut up and be quiet.
When he was with Florida.
So did the Sheriff's Department.
Oh, absolutely.
They got to know him very well.
What, over 25?
He was hanging out with Deshaun in the clubs.
Well, look, a lot of people will never blame him for Aaron Hernandez.
And 25 cent, 50 cent.
Look, he had a lot to do with Aaron Hernandez and what happened with him. If he were a better coach and Florida's program were better. No, I'm serious. And nobody calls that out. They don't call it out.
We're all adults. We're all responsible for our own decisions.
Alex says, sorry, Harry, it works. It works. Play with urgency. That's the difference between a 2-minute drill. Well, yeah, you know what, Alex? Actually, I'm going to give that one to you. It does work when you play with urgency, but not against this defense that they're going to be facing this week. But you might want to catch that part of the pick. I'm going to surprise a lot of people with it. So let's talk about the Jaguars and the Titans. 3.5-point favorites. The total's 41 points. I'm going to tell you guys right up front. You guys want to talk about it? fantastic. But I'm going to Texas. You couldn't get me to bet this money with my worst enemies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on this. Derrick Henry, like my buddy here, Drew, said the last couple of weeks has been bottled up. I think it's been very disappointing to fantasy owners. And if Derrick Henry is not running the rock like he usually does for the Titans, they're a completely different defense because they become one-dimensional and they depend on a Ryan Tannehill, and he's okay, but to me, he's not great, and that's where your offense gets in trouble.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Everybody want to agree? We're going to go to El Paso.
Nope.
We're going to go to Texas.
I'm not going there. I'm not
You're
going
not?
there.
Who do you
Nope.
like, Drew?
I called my travel agent. She said not to go there this time of year. It wasn't a nice place. So I'm picking the Titans to win. The Titans have been feasting on teams under 500 all year long.
Ooh,
so they're
good point.
6-0 in sub 500 teams, or only 1-5 in teams over 500.
But what is
I got
their
Titans.
record? Hold on. But what's the record against the spread against those sub 500 teams?
3.5 point spread I got. Is that what you're showing? Sorry.
It's 3.5.
Okay. Yeah. So
Right.
I'm not worried about a 3.5 point spread.
So lay the 3.5. You got it right live here on the over under. Andrew Davis loves Tennessee minus 3.5. Dropping
Go
that
for it.
mileage.
Go for it.
You have to love Tennessee because of what they did last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles, basically getting their doors blown off, and Brown showing that it was a terrible trade. And then furthermore, I mean, what are the Titans doing as an organization? Firing their general manager when the season's basically over? What are you disappointed that Brown trade wasn't going to work out? Of course it's not going to work out. He's a top wide receiver in the league, and you trade him for what? A rookie and a couple first-round picks? Of course he's going to show you. It's terrible.
I'm going to say the Brown trade looks bad right now. But give it some time before you finalize a decision. It's year one. You can't make a decision in year one. That's foolish.
Well,
So far, it looks good.
the Titans did. I mean, the
If
Titans
Burks looked
did.
really good, and A.J. Brown now gives them cap issues when they go to re-sign Jalen Hurts, that trade looks a whole lot better for the Titans all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Maybe, but then again, the Titans as an organization, they made the decision. They fired John Robinson, and all I can think of was the performance of Brown on Sunday.
If you think that one game was why they fired their GM, then you're not giving enough credit to the owner of the team. That one game is not the reason why that happened.
I don't know. I don't know what the reason would be, but you have to explain it to me. Why do you do it now instead of wait to the end of the season? That makes no sense at all. No advantage.
If you're going to make your move now so you can look at people that are available, start talking to people that are available, and start revamping how you do things in the scouting department.
And again, I don't agree with the trade, but we also have to give the Titans some credit and Robinson credit. Has he not built this team from the ground up? Has he not had them as a consistent playoff contender?
Oh, yeah. Playoffs.
I mean, I don't understand the move.
Listen, he'll get a job. He'll be perfectly fine. I'm not worried about his long-term economic health. That's for dang sure. So, but they wanted to make the move, and why wait? If you're going to make the move, Go for it.
Peter's playing with his toys.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it on the wall there. There's those.
Is that
those are lightning.
Is that Deshaun on their back wall?
That is not Deshaun.
He's playing with Deshaun. That's what it was. Christopher Cole says Tompkins will return kicks and punts.
Yes, Tompkins. I mean, that may be a player also they like. At the end of the day, he's going to give you more than Jalen Darden. And if he doesn't, then get somebody that's going to do that.
On to the next game. One of the games I really, really like. Very anticipated games. The Philadelphia Eagles are flying into New York, actually New Jersey, but I'm not going there. Okay.
Oh, here we go again.
I'm not going there.
Oh,
but the Giants are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles are a 7-point favorite in a divisional game on the road, and the total points is 45. Peter, what do you like and why?
I'm going to go to El Paso on this game. Rival game scared the hell out of me. I think the Giants are going to play this a lot closer. The Eagles right now playing great football, of course, blowing the doors off of the Tennessee Titans at home. But once again, this is a road game. It's a rival game. Giants coming off a tie. I'm going to go to El Paso.
Andrew.
So this is one of those games.
Oh, so you got no opinion? I'm kidding.
Wow. Listen, you know me better than I always have an opinion.
What? What?
So this is one of those games that I prove that I'm not a homer. I'm telling her now the Eagles are going to win, and they're probably going to win big. Saquon Barkley is a game-time decision, guys.
I'm glad you said that because head coach Brian Daboll told reporters on Fridays that Barkley's neck was a little sore and did leave the door open for the star back to miss the game. When asked specifically if Barkley would play, Daboll says, I hope so. That's code for saying he ain't missing this game.
Well, we'll see how much he actually plays. But the other thing is, look at the secondary issues they're having as well still. So you still got Xavier McKinney out. You still got Adoree Jackson out. Look what happened last week against the Commanders. They realized that, okay, they have one good corner left. They're going to go ahead and cover McLaurin now with him. Now we have Curtis Samuel wide open every single play because they don't have a second corner. Now, who would you say is better, Smith or Samuel?
Good
Yeah,
point.
Smith.
Plus, the
Like-
Giants can't stop the run. This is a running team.
Listen, I understand why you're not optimistic about this game, especially for your hometown Giants. But I'm going to give you the keys to the game for the Giants. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball often. And I want to go back to Thursday night's game with the, I call it the injured dog in the corner, and people keep poking it. Okay? Be very careful on probing and poking an injured dog sitting in the corner because it's going to come out and snap and hit you. The Giants will play this game. This game will be a lot closer. I'm not saying that the Giants are going to win this game. However, if you have a couple sitting between your legs there, go ahead and throw a few shekels on them. It wouldn't surprise me to see this happen. But I am going to tell you this. They are going to cover the 7 points. And if you wait just before game time, you might even get 8. Take the home underdog, guys. Did anybody think that the Rams were going to beat the Raiders? Anybody? I implore anybody out there to tell me that they had that game picked.
No.
I would have
I
won the
did.
game.
This is the divisional game. This is even going to be tighter. Would it surprise me to see Philadelphia put up 40 on this team? Nope. But it ain't happening. The game's going to be tighter because if they do put up 40, the Giants will score 35. Something's going to happen. You're talking about the New York Giants defense. Let's talk about a team that can't stop the run in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And there is one quarterback that I know that can run an RPO better than anybody in football, and that's a kid by the name of Danny Jones. Runs it even better than Lamar, and he even runs it better than Justin Fields. I said that. In that offense, with that running back, they run that to absolute perfection. Good luck, Philadelphia, covering those 7 points.
I'll say this, though, as a Giant fan, they haven't run that RPO really very often the last couple weeks at all, and that's been part of their downfall.
It's coming this week.
We'll see.
Yeah, and it should come this week. But to be fair to the Eagles, they definitely have improved their run defense when Linval Joseph and, of course, the Ndamukong Suh, who are a lot of Bucs fans, were up in arms with losing or not re-signing. So they have improved in that position, and that has been the big key for the Eagles' success the last couple of weeks.
Troy Polamalu says, Harry, can you talk about WrestleMania?
Sure.
I'd love to talk about WrestleMania. Is Dusty Rhodes going to be in it?
No, Dusty Rhodes is dead, but Cody Rhodes.
How about
Dick Bam Bigelow? Bam Bigelow.
Hold on. Now, Bam Bam Bigelow, of course, wrestled Lawrence Taylor, as you would know, at WrestleMania.
He's also a Jersey boy, Asbury Park.
There you go. Absolutely.
Hey, guys, I was kidding. I really don't want to talk wrestling.
Listen. No.
We're adults. Sorry, Peter. We're adults. We're over 18. We
You
don't
want
watch
to
wrestling.
open up Pandora's box. There's absolutely an opportunity for
Speaking
Cody
of
Rhodes.
Pandora, the new movie's coming out, Avatar.
WrestleMania. WrestleMania. Shut up.
Shut up!
I talk wrestling on my show. Leave me alone.
I know you do. That's why Harry and I don't listen to the last third.
What?
On to the next game, ladies and gentlemen. You got the Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh.
Pittsburgh's favored by 1.5. 37 points is the total. The Ravens officially listed Jackson as doubtful. He's not playing. Tyler Huntley's going to play, and Tyler Huntley's not playing very good football. But you know what else isn't playing really good football? The Baltimore Ravens defense. That's who's not playing good football. Even with the addition of Roquan Smith, making a lot of tackles, but he ain't cutting the mustard over there. It's not breaking my heart, but I mean, seriously? Peter,
Well,
who do you like and why?
It just shows you with Smith. I mean, once again, a new defense. So, he's trying to figure it out, and he's not necessarily having the success that he had with the Chicago Bears. Furthermore, you're missing Lamar Jackson. So Huntley's going to get the start. How is that going to affect the offense? And then once again, this is a rival game.
Oh, by the way, TJ Watt's playing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I would stay away from the game at the end of the day.
No
I would go to El
chance.
Paso. But if you're going to bet anybody, it would be Pittsburgh on the under.
Pittsburgh. Absolutely. Absolutely like Pittsburgh. How about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh as well. The big thing is that the rise, so to speak, that Kenny Pickett's had the last couple weeks of being at least closer to mediocrity. Not saying he's great, but he's gotten better over the last couple weeks. Has been his dependence on his tight end, and the Ravens can't cover a tight end. They're allowing 114.3 rating to
Good
tight
point.
ends over the season. So
Great point.
I think that's going to be a big play. And Tyler Huntley is basically the wish version of Lamar Jackson. So I'm not going anywhere near the Ravens this game.
I actually like that game a lot. I like Pittsburgh. Lay the 1.5. The 37 points. They're begging you to bet the over. Don't do it. Bet the under.
Yeah, I mean, we learned about this year when there was a line like that, and you said it best. Vegas is trying to get you to bet that over, but bet the under at the end of the day because Huntley's a backup quarterback. There's a reason. I'm not saying they don't have weapons, but to me, again, these teams play each other close every year. It's a bloodbath.
Yep. But on Pittsburgh's side of it, and we're going to go on to the next game, their injury report is absolutely clean. After the Steelers took designations off of TJ Watt with his ribs, Deontay Johnson, and Malik Reed.
Yeah.
They got no injuries, guys.
Yeah. And a
This
big
team is healthy. And they have a quarterback who's starting to play a little bit better. He's starting to get a little bit of confidence.
There you go.
So this is gonna help the Pittsburgh Steelers out. And don't be surprised that Pittsburgh actually starts to play a lot better football and get above 500. Not saying they're going anywhere. They're not making the playoffs.
Got a great coach still.
But
That's
they still
it.
have a really, really good coach.
And Tomlin gets the best out of his players at the end of the day. And then furthermore, Pickett is starting to develop that confidence, and that team is starting to develop that confidence. And they go and beat Atlanta, and Deontay Johnson could catch the ball more consistently. They would definitely be a much better offense at the end of the day.
On to the next game, ladies and gentlemen. The Kansas City Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites at the Denver Broncos. Some interesting injuries here. Kadarius Toney, hamstring, and Joe Thuney, their ankle, they're questionable. For the Broncos, I don't even want to talk about it. 8.5-point favorites. All I want to know is this. If you can't bet the Chiefs laying the 8.5 in a division game, stay away from the game. So typically, I've always said you want to play the home underdog, especially teams that are catching a lot of points, and then they're in the same division. In this game, I'm not particularly playing it. I'm telling everybody right up front, I would run the Texas in this game just because of that. But if you cannot play the Broncos and take the points, you need to stay away from the game. I'm not advocating either side for this. Peter?
I would take I'd take the Chiefs all day long, all day and every day, because the way the Broncos have played, I mean, they lose to the
hold on. What makes this game any different than the New York Jets playing the Buffalo Bills on the road?
The difference is there has been no consistency when it comes to the quarterback position. They have struggled mightily when it comes to offense. And then furthermore, Kansas City is upset with losing to the Cincinnati Bengals, by the way, the third time in the last year and a half. So Kansas City is going to have something to prove. Denver's a team right now that's just awful, and it looks like
you don't like Denver at all, even though that having Jerry Jeudy back as their top target.
Nope, because this offense has shown me nothing all year long. Russell Wilson is, it's bad. It's just bad in Denver. It's not working out at all. It's been pathetic. I think Kansas City would blow their doors off. Take the 8 all day long.
So here's my thing, Peter. You said you haven't had coffee yet this morning.
Yeah.
Have you had anything else to drink, perhaps? Because 9.5 points they're being given. This is still an amazing defense. They're gonna shut down the Chiefs. No one shuts them down, but they're gonna manage them and control them.
Yep,
and if the Broncos put up, let's say 10 to 14 points on the Chiefs defense, which is not an amazing defense, it's a mediocre defense.
Well,
you know what? You see, again, both of you guys are bringing valid points, and I'm going to have to.
Well, we're in Denver. You're in Denver, right? You're taking Denver. You must have smoked some.
I'm taking Denver for the points. I'm not taking them to win the game.
I don't even think Denver can take. I don't even think Denver can score 10 to 14 points in this game. I mean, that's how bad they have been offensively.
That's what they've been averaging.
But Peter, you got to listen to the other side of reason here, guys. I mean, Denver does still have a good defense. What happens when they force Patrick Mahomes into an ill-advised pass and gives their team a a short field.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Again, you see this is why I said if you cannot play Denver and take the points, stay away from the game. I didn't say I like Denver, but if you push me into a corner and said, Greek, who do you like here? I'm going to have to give you Denver because of the fact they're not as good of a team. And I'm the one who's been standing on the soapbox saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are the best team in the National Football League. It's 8.5 points. Now it's 9.5. And if you wait long enough, you can get 10. So does Denver even look any somewhat appealing at 10 points? Would they?
That's rad.
Oh, God.
Let's ride. That's right.
Only because of the points. The Chiefs will win. And I got to say, oh, my God, Kadarius Toney hurt his hamstring again? What the hell? How many hamstrings does this man have?
He's got a few.
Oh, my
God.
He's got unlimited hamstrings.
I want to hear Travis Kelce talking about the trade now. I want to hear what his thoughts are now on the trade, since he was talking trash after the first week.
And here's
guys,
the thing,
I'm going to skip a game here.
Well,
I'm going to skip a game. Go ahead.
I'll say this. I mean, it could be that week where Denver actually shows up offensively, but I just haven't seen anything that makes me believe they're going to do that. I just haven't.
Okay.
So,
you guys want to talk about the Dolphins at the Chargers? You want to talk about the fish swimming all the way to the West Coast? Because I'd really like to talk about that game. You ready? Gills and all, baby. The Dolphins are 3-point favorites on the road all the way out west where they don't usually fare very well. And here's something even a little bit more surprising. 54.5 points is the over and under. Right now, Armstead is trending toward playing for the Dolphins. After being limited in practice Friday, the star left tackle was inactive last week after being a game-time decision. The best news for the Chargers is finally that Mike Williams with an ankle was not given an injury designation. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Williams is actually going to play. So he's actually good to go for Sunday. Los Angeles has also been sick with the injury bug. They caught that flu bug just like the Jets did, by the way, and just like every other team in the National Football League. James Joseph is day-to-day. Bryce Callahan and Pipkins are also doubtful for Sunday's game as well. That's 4 starters for the Chargers. 4 starters. Dolphins are 3-point favorites. The total's 54.5. I'm going to bring a special guest in here in about 1 second when he centers up. I can see him sitting there in that little back room. He's giving me the signs. Go ahead. It's Mr. Michael D'Angelo and Mr. President Trump himself. Michael, how are you, brother?
Thank you. Listen, it's great to be on your show again. It's been a long time. I've missed you, and I know you've missed me as well. Don't worry. I'm back, baby. How are you? Not enough about you, more about me. Listen, it's just so great. Look at this setup. Look at this picture frame. It's amazing. Glad to be here.
You look amazing.
What's up, baby?
Andrew, I want you to meet Michael D'Angelo. Really, really good guy of the show, and just a nice follower, and he does a lot of good impersonations. And I'll tell you what, he's a really good sports handicapper as well, especially with fantasy.
Yes,
He is. And everybody give him a congratulations. I think he's his future wife or his wife is expecting. We knew you had it in you. Get it?
Listen.
Now it's in her.
So just a quick funny story about that, right? So when she actually told me, I was like, obviously I was really excited and this and that, but I immediately was like, yes, let's go. Like, baby, I just had to have a me moment, and it was really good. So, yeah.
You felt like Tom Brady running down the sideline?
Listen, let's effing go for sure. Yeah. And so we're about 5 days out.
Okay. I'm glad we got that all out of the way. 5 days out. It could be like any moment. What was that? What was that noise? That was my water breaking. Let's go. I got to go, Harry. See you later.
Victory.
Flawless victory.
Just
no,
30,
you don't
30
tell
more
him
to
to
catch
run.
up with Peter.
Right.
Dolphins are at the Chargers. The Dolphins are 3-point favorites. I know you're in the back room. You're listening to it. I'm going to let you start off with this segment. Do you think the Dolphins cover the 3 or the Chargers cover the 3? They're at home, and the total's 54.5. I got to keep stressing that. Michael, who do you like and why?
So definitely like the Dolphins on this one, just because their run game has been immaculate. Coming off that loss to San Francisco, Mike McDaniels is not going to let them lose 2 in a row like that. So I think they're going to make a statement. I think they're going to come off the blocks hot like they actually did last week. but I think they're going to sustain it against the Chargers. The Chargers are just looking weak on defense right now, so it's going to be a shootout. But I'm going to go under 54. I think is what you said, but I think they're going to cover the 3 for sure.
Andrew.
I'm a little disappointed in you, Harry. I got to
What's
say
that?
this up front. You said gills. Dolphins are mammals.
That's true. That's true. They got the little.
Just saying, I have to point that out. So, yeah, the streak has broken. Tua has officially lost his first game that he played throughout the entire game, but it took the 49ers defense for that to happen. This is not the 49ers defense. This is a bad defense. This is a defense that gave up 177 yards last week to Devontae Adams, and now they got to deal with both the Cheetah and the Penguin. They're in trouble.
Yep, Peter.
Yeah, I go over in this game. I go with the Dolphins, and the key is if Armstead plays, that's definitely going to be a big-time boost because what they were hurt by last week is both of their offensive linemen out. You signed Eric Fisher off the street, but I still think this offense has enough fireworks at the end of the day versus a Chargers defense that's just god-awful. I like the Dolphins in this game and the over for both teams.
Wow, we got to kind of have a little bit of a mixed review. I was going to take the home underdog in this game. I'm going to stay away from it. The total's 54.5. I like the under.
Wow.
I like the under in this game. 54.5 is too many points. But the second proposition bet that I'm going to give everybody, bet the over in the first half for total points for the Chargers. That's sitting at 10 on some books, and some of them are at 10.5.
Wow.
Look for 14 to 21 points by the Chargers.
Easily.
But the second half's going to be different. You're going to see a downtread, a lot less scoring, because I think the Chargers are going to have to go ahead and play some defense. We're going to go on and move on to the next game. I'm really kind of glad. Hang on, what the hell did I just? Oh, there's everybody.
Here we are.
Hey, Michael, do you want to host? Here you go, buddy.
All right, guys. So the next game that we have to talk about here is going to be, you know what, Harry? I'm just going to pass it back down to you.
Thank you. The next game we're going to be talking about is the Patriots at the Cardinals.
What?
I'm teasing. I could really give two craps about it.
Did you say crap?
I couldn't give one.
Where is my paperwork? And it's I just had it right
It's
here.
in your hand.
What?
Understand?
Yeah.
I understand.
I think
that.
I
Oh
think
my
the
God,
paperwork got
who
sent to
the hell
El Paso, Texas.
cares?
He's
I
having
just-
trouble with his paperwork with those Kenny Pickett hands.
It was all the way over here, guys. Hey, guys, I want to talk about the Panthers at the Seahawks.
Oh, God. We have to?
Oh, absolutely. It's not because you're looking at two fantastic teams. We're talking about making money because that's what gambling is all about. You want to make money, or you just want to gamble because you want to lose. The Seahawks are a 4-point favorite. The total's 44 points against the Panthers. And the Seahawks could be down their two top skill position players in Metcalf and Walker for Sunday. Metcalf was limited Thursday and did not practice Friday, but Seattle has given him a few days to rest, a mysterious hip injury that popped on the injury report this week. For the Panthers, you got Littleton. He's got an ankle. Miles Hartsfield and Matthew, my Greek Leonidas. Okay? And Xavier Woods are all questionable.
Did you say Greek?
That's not even right, Pete.
Somewhere a glass plate broke.
That's
Throw
right.
him on the ground.
Yeah, we'll just throw them on the ground. No, but seriously, guys, why are the Seahawks 4-point favorites? Haven't they finally come back to earth? This team's not really going to make the playoffs, right?
Playoffs.
Andrew, take this one first.
So I think I actually like the Seahawks in this game because I think Metcalf will play. This has been a thing all year long for him where he ends up at the injury report. People think he's not going to play, and then he ends up playing. And the big thing to look at is the Panthers secondary in this. So J.C. Horn's been amazing. He's giving up a passer rating of only 50.3. His counterpart, though, C.J. Henderson's giving up a 109.9. So if both those receivers are playing, whichever one C.J. is covering, that's the one that's going to be the one to look for to throw the ball to. And I think
Michael.
Gino's going to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have Seahawks here as well. I think that the firepower from DK Metcalf, he's going to play. I mean, there's no way he's not going to. And Tyler Lockett, I think they're going to lean more on the passing game, obviously, with Walker being, in and out there. And then also DJ Dallas has an injury as game time decision. So you might have to look at the running back being Homer there. But from a fantasy perspective, you have Metcalf, you have Lockett, solid picks for either side. When you're talking about Carolina, though, Deontay Foreman is coming up against one of the worst run games or defensive teams against the run. So look at Deontay Foreman to have a big game.
Peter.
Yeah, I like Seattle in this game, and I also like them to be back in first place with the Jimmy Garoppolo injury. You're depending on Mr. Irrelevant. That would be the 49ers. That's where the Seahawks make this interesting. They get back on track once again. Came back last week versus the Rams. They take care of business versus the Panthers.
And this is what makes the Greek the Greek. For all the reasons that you just heard about how San Diego is going to win this game, turn it around and play Carolina. Carolina's defense is better. They're going to be able to run the football. I like what they're doing at the quarterback position. They can still throw the ball. And you know what? Everybody's counted this team completely out. And besides, two of the people that are on this panel are NFC South like absolute nuts, and they can't stand Carolina. So they're letting their personal feelings come into play. Make a small position without the points. You take Carolina on the money line in this game. What's my record on upsets? Very, very, very good. Bank it. Take this one to the bank, just like I gave you the Rams last week for Thursday night. The exact same way. But you know what? It's going to be a little bit harder this time. Seattle will turn the ball over. I'm predicting not once, not twice, 3 times. Seattle will shoot themselves in the foot in this game a minimum of 3 times. And that, my friend, is the reason why they're going to lose this ball game.
All right. Wow. We shall see, Mr. Greek.
That's like a prediction from the Simpsons episode, right?
Yes,
like you're
Greek.
predicting something so specific there.
Did I hear about a monorail?
A monorail.
Monorail.
Monorail. That's an episode from the Three Stooges. Well, that brings our show to a conclusion. I'm only kidding you, man. We got the Buccaneers at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Andrew Davis start off by this. The 49ers are 3.5-point favorites. 49ers are starting a rookie quarterback for the first time in his NFL career, who, by the way, looked really, really good this past week. The Buccaneers are very banged up and depleted on the offensive line. I'm going to go ahead and break down the game when it's my turn to come. But seriously, Andrew, who do you like and why? And wait a minute. Did I tell anybody? It's the lowest point total of the season at 37. Andrew, go for it.
Yeah, I still like the 49ers to win this game. Interesting thing is Brock Purdy actually was like 3 months old when Tom Brady was drafted. So at the time he was suckling on
again.
About 3 months old when Tom Brady was drafted. So he was suckling on his mama, and now Zach Wilson's suckling on his mama. So, I mean, you know. So everybody know his nickname, by the way. His nickname is Big Clock Brock, apparently. That's what Kittle's calling him. So here's the interesting thing. Big Clock Brock. That's
well, you know Nick Foles from the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what his nickname is, right?
They're calling him BCB. They're calling him for short for that. So here's the interesting thing with what's going on here with the Bucs defense this season, and why I think that Brock's going to have not a great game, but he'll have an okay game. So the Bucs defense is giving up a 102.7 passer rating when they're throwing to the running backs this season. Christian McCaffrey. Bucs are allowing 108.5 rating when they're throwing to tight ends. Kittle. This is what's going to help a young quarterback that needs to do the short passes and be a game manager. Here's the key to the victory if the Bucs want to win. So we talked about earlier about the 2-minute offense. Do you know what the one Achilles heel this 49ers defense is having? Anybody got a guess?
What is it?
So the pass defense is giving up a rating of 94 if the ball is thrown under 2.5 seconds. This secondary is counting on getting pressure to force the ball early into the wrong spot. So if they can go ahead and get the quick passes going, that's the only chance the Bucs have against this defense. But I got the Niners to win, and I'm going to go with the over on this because it's just way too low of a total for my blood.
Michael D'Angelo, do you or President Trump want to talk about this?
I think President Trump's out headed out to El Paso with this one, unfortunately, because as far as like the game, like I don't want to say what I think the results are, but you know, since we're on the air, I'm going to go with it. I think the Niners got this one. Unfortunately, the only way that they're going to come through is if they hit the dink and dunk right? And then open up the play action game. Try a little bit to get a couple big shots on Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. But that defense is just, I mean, the offensive line banged up for the Buccaneers. All that this guy has to do for the San Francisco 49ers quarterback is literally handoff left, handoff right, jet sweep Deebo Samuel, and the Bucs are in trouble.
Peter.
Yeah, and they try to hand off. I think this defense, especially the rushing one, will be able to shut them down. That is the game plan. Make this team one-dimensional at the end of the day. Like Drew said, it favors Tom Brady because he's getting rid of the ball about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds. I feel like the Bucs will struggle for the majority of the game, and once again, Tom Brady will bail them out. Bucs win 20-17.
And,
I love
of
that.
course, they call this the over-under show. I'm the host, Harry the Greek. And ladies and gentlemen, let me give you another upset special. And this time it's coming into the form of another road team. I've already given you Carolina. And now I'm going to give you the keys to the game on why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers not only cover, but they win this game and the game goes under. Listen to my reasoning.
Okay.
Andrew, you brought up excellent points. But let's talk about reality. And I'm not saying what you said wasn't reality, but let me tell you about reality. You're right. A very young Brock Purdy is going to be sitting on the sidelines going, that's TB12. And every time Brock is up under center, he's going to be looking over at the opposing sideline. And who's going to be standing up staring at him? It's TB12. Does anybody have any clue how hard that's going to be for a rookie quarterback? We haven't even talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense because everybody is so enamored with the best defense in the National Football League in the San Francisco 49ers when they're healthy. This defense is not healthy. They're missing 3 of their starting defensive linemen. Bosa's also nicked up. The other 3 could possibly get some spot play, but believe me when I tell you they're not 100%. And that also fares very well for a very depleted and banged up and often very criticized and ridiculed Tampa Bay offense, especially on their offensive line, because they stink. And I've said that. They stink.
Did you say stink?
Again. But let me give you the reasons why they're going to win this football game. It's because of Tampa's defense. You're not going to see all those jet sweeps. Deebo Samuel is not going to be going off in this game like he has before in the past. They are going to set up to stop the run. Who has consistently been the best defense against the run the last, not 2, 3, the past 4 years? That's right. That's been the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Today, they know that they're going to have to run the football against this defense. If they try to go to an open passing game against this defense for Tampa, it's going to be a very, very long day. Look for 3 turnovers by San Francisco's offense today. 2 via the interception. Maybe 1. The other one's going to be a fumble. Vita Fea and Akeem Hicks in the middle. Good luck. Good luck. Because now you got those speedy linebackers and corners playing up on the line of scrimmage and not respecting a deep passing game. Not saying that Brock Purdy can't throw the ball, because let me tell you something positive about this young man. He's better and will be better than a Jimmy Garoppolo. He can make more throws. He's more athletic on the ground than Garoppolo ever has been. But he's a rookie. And he's going up against a former Super Bowl champion 2 years off, basically with the same defense in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't fall into the trap, ladies and gentlemen. Put the smart money on Tampa on the money line today. They will win this game. And bet the under. Tampa wins this game by 10 points.
Wow.
That's how confident I am in this game.
I like it.
Road victory number 1 with Carolina. Pretty sure on that one. Very sure on this game with Tampa Bay. Sorry, Fred Hubner. I know you are a huge, huge San Francisco fan. If Jimmy G was playing quarterback today, I wouldn't be taking Tampa so much on the money line. I'd probably be taking Tampa with the points. But that defense is pretty banged up. That's my game of the week. Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the money line. Any questions, gentlemen?
Yeah, I would say this. Purdy definitely has an opportunity to open up that organization's eyes, because they drafted Trey Lance 3rd overall. He got hurt, so you could change your future fortunes if Purdy plays well. But I think at the end of the day, he's a rookie quarterback. there's a reason why he's Mr. Irrelevant, and Trey Lance is most likely the future.
Andrew Davis.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll say is you mentioned as far as Tom Brady standing on the sidelines the entire game. At his age, can he stand for that long still? I mean, I just have to ask, like...
I tell you right now, I think the biggest question, guys, is can he throw the deep ball accurately anymore, because he hasn't been able to do that consistently this year, and that's the big-time statistic with this Buccaneer
Tampa's going to run the ball, Peter.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, they're going to get the ball. The defense is going to give them a short field a couple of times in this game. I'm very confident in it. I mean, look,
you like to see some deep plays down the field like you had last year, because last year if it comes, it comes. I'm just telling you right now, the keys to the game right now is how well Tampa's going to run the game, run the football, how they're going to play defense and be able to run the football against this. I'm going to tell you right now, if Tampa by chance gets up early in this game, it's over. I mean, over. Yeah. Because now you're going to make San Francisco very one-dimensional. Because Tampa, everybody's overlooking this defense. There's nothing wrong with this defense, especially when they know a team is going to have to do one particular thing. It's called run the football. And good luck running that zone block and scheme crap on this defense, especially with 720 pounds of beef in the middle. Good luck moving Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea off the middle. I'm serious. Those zone blocking schemes work against 4-3 teams that are very light and very, very athletic. Not teams that are 350 to 400 pounds per lineman. Sorry, guys. It's just the way it is. I'm just telling you what I see. Now, does San Francisco blow this team up? Who knows? I don't think so. That's why they call it gambling. It's 50-50. How about it, Mr. President Trump? What did you think of the comments?
Well, you've changed my perspective here, and I'm going to say the Bucs win double digits, like you said, 10-10, by 10 points, I mean. And fantasy-wise, think about this. Fantasy-wise, look at Rashad White to have a huge game. Huge. Like my hands, not your hands. You have small Kenny Pickett hands. Huge hands. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to score TDs. On the San Francisco side of the things, look at Deebo Samuel run and catching the ball. He's going to have amazing numbers today. So one for each side, Rashad White, Deebo Samuel's big game apiece. Huge hands.
Huge hands. Thank you so much. We're going to go back to the comments here. That's why I have them here. Alex Nunster says, wish the Bucs would have picked up Baker Mayfield. You know what? I think the Rams just struck gold. They were desperate to get a quarterback, and I think they found the quarterback of their future, in my opinion. I'll expound maybe next week a little bit more. Alex says, no way Brady returns next year. I agree with you, Alex. Go ahead, Pete.
Well, Mayfield, of course, they had the waiver order because the Rams were a worse team than the Bucs, so they got first right. So they picked him up. So there's no way the Bucs could have picked him up because it's a waiver claim.
That's
so
true.
You couldn't do that. And then on top of it, anybody saying they know Brady's going to come back next year or the year after, he's divorced now, ladies and gentlemen. He has no obligation. So if he's still playing at a high level and the Bucs still want him, which it seems like they do, because the greatness of Blaine Gabbert and Kyle Trask, there's a lot of fans out there that want to see both of those quarterbacks get a start. I don't know why. Tom Brady is still the greatest of all time. I get it. He's maybe not Tom Brady 5 years ago, but he's still a pretty damn good quarterback. Why are you ruling out him coming out next year? A lot of people said he was going to retire last year. He didn't. He came back. Who knows? I'm not Miss Cleo here.
He still has obligations, though. He's still a father. He still has his endorsement deal with Centrum Silver. I mean, he's got plenty of things to do. So
you got to make that money. Got to make that money up after that divorce.
And the question is he still eating avocado toast?
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like he's eating something.
He's not having the witch's brew anymore. That's for sure.
That's true.
Witch's brew.
It's true. Giselle was a good witch.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Back to the comment. What were you going to say now? Sorry.
I was just going to say, Tom Brady's living in Tampa Bay, so there's a lot of potential.
Tampa Bay.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of fun experiences to be had in the Tampa Bay area, and it's too fun to leave. You can't leave.
Right.
He's staying.
He's staying.
That's really.
Listen,
good.
he can still stay in Tampa and not play. You think he'll have any trouble getting any women over in Ybor without playing?
Trip Palomalo says, thank you, Peter, for serving our country and capturing Al Qaeda. Roger Shue says, hi, guys. Just got home from Winn-Dixie. That's his second job. Well, Roger Shue says, Pete didn't even finish basic training.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the story. If you guys want to harp on me about that, yes, I went to Marine Corps boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina, went 20 weeks, tried to qualify with the M16 32 times and couldn't do it. I doubt you guys can make it 2 weeks in there. Not saying the panel, but the people out there, the bunch of jerk-offs out there that are mentioning my take on basic service. You guys couldn't last, so don't even talk. Don't even say anything. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
That's right, Peter. Talk your shit. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there. Right there.
Right there, baby.
Hey, Andrew, which way is the beach from your place?
It's either direction.
No,
Oh,
Asbury Park. Which way is Asbury Park?
Asbury Park is about 20 hours north of here.
That's true. Christopher Cole says, thoughts on the Saints fines? That's a great question, Chris. I think they're just a team that got caught, and it's nothing that's not typical with something that came out of New Orleans. That doesn't even justify another comment about
I know you're being sarcastic because, of course, it is a typical New Orleans Saints thing. Alexander agrees in the background because there's Saints fans walking around right now saying, what the hell is Harry talking about? I mean, you had Bounty Gate. Now you have Cam Jordan faking injuries. The NFL is taking a stand on this. They saw what happened. They've seen other teams do it. So basically what they had to do is make an example out of somebody. And consequently, I hate the Saints. I think it's great by Roger Goodell in the league finally making an example out of those damn cheaters.
Troy Polamalu says,
hold on, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Do we have the Bucks fan who has Tom Brady as their quarterback just take a stand against cheaters?
Yes.
Oh,
you did.
Just saying.
But here's the thing. Everybody talks about Tom Brady and his cheating ways. I mean, honestly, Deflategate, I mean, there was never any proof of that. And even Mike
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Hold on. No, there wasn't.
Just the circumstantial proof and all. That's all.
Mike Florio even came out and said there was no proof that the football was the same. I mean, and honestly, you deflate a football, you think that's some type of advantage?
Listen,
Yes,
if you're
yes,
not
I do.
cheating, you're not trying. Just ask
Peter,
President
have
Trump.
you ever held a football
Listen.
before? If you let
Well,
a little
listen,
bit of air out, you can grip it better. This is a very
Okay.
common thing.
Okay, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, really, I mean, we were saying just Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, the whole organization was cheating. Why is it always Tom Brady? Why do we do that? Like
This is the
greatest
same
of
guy
all
who
time.
released immunity supplements as soon as COVID came out.
Look, the Saints are terrible. Bounty Gate, I mean, Sean Payton shouldn't even coached anymore after all that garbage that came out. The
Dude,
NFL
every
was
single team
lenient
does
on
that.
it.
Every single team does that.
team
I
does
don't know
that.
about that. I don't know about
They
that.
do.
But
Just
again,
ask the Buddy Ryan led team.
well, listen, the point was that every team has done the faking the injuries, and now I doubt there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to do that anymore.
Does
just-
anybody
they just don't wanna be
remember
the
an
NBA.
old defensive end for the Green Bay Packers? I mean, it's before y'all's time. I know it's before Michael D'Angelo's time. He was a defensive end that played for Green Bay in the 80s by the name of Charles Martin.
I don't know. I remember Tim Harris.
I was born then.
Okay. You
But-
need to Google Charles Martin and Jim McMahon. Charles
Okay.
Martin he had a claw. You know how the NFL back then, people could take like a towel and they would wear it like for a decoration on their uniform, and but the NFL instead of saying, hey, it's not part of your the policy for the uniform and stuff, but a lot of players used to put a towel on them. Well, Charles Martin on the towel had multiple numbers from the Chicago Bears, and every time he performed a cheap shot on a player, he would cross it out. Walter Payton was one of them, and Jim McMahon was the last one on there. It was the most egregious hit, if you can ever YouTube it and Google it, that you'll ever see in your life. McMahon threw a ball. It was either intercepted, I don't remember, or whatever the case was, incomplete. McMahon is walking off the field, and Charles Martin picks him up and throws him out on his shoulder to separate it. I mean, we're talking 4 and 5 seconds after the play was already over. Come to find out, that was all part of a bounty gate. This is when that crap really started. And by the way, Charles Martin, he died some years later. Rest in peace. But it's he did. He
That's
passed
very
away.
relevant.
I'm sure
Are you
the
saying
two things
that
are
for
related.
What?
Are you saying
Why
that
did
so
I
that way
feel
we don't
like?
worry about Charles Martin coming after you?
Are
Why
you
did- why did- why did I-
suggesting that Jim McMahon killed him?
Right. Why did I feel like it was like an O.J. Simpson
The
thing?
monsters of the Midway came and got him from
Well, listen, why did I
Got
feel
this
like
guy
it was
from
like
Chicago over here. He came by, got him, stabbed him. He went in the river. Next thing you know,
Did you say the Bears? Did you say the Bears? Now, when you said
Here we go.
I remember singing that at Tampa Stadium in the old sombrero.
oh my God, those were the days, right? Where
Tell me about it, man. It was just
blown out.
unbelievable.
And the only time they would sell out, Harry, and you know this all too well, is when the Bears would come to town. That's actually when they would be on TV, because the majority of their games were blacked out back then, especially home games. But with that being said, I felt like you were O.J. Simpson there saying about his attorneys. They all passed away from cancer and this because they defended him. That's what I felt like when you said about Charles Martin.
Tell me about it. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of these. Peter didn't finish. Thoughts on the Saints? Fine, already did that. I want to say hi to one of my bosses, Jack Smith. Can't wait for Christmas.
Jake Smith, bonus. You're not getting any bonus because you don't work with us. You're an idiot.
Sean, dripping Buck Brown. Bucks win.
Yes, I like it. Let me go.
Troy Palomalo says Jake. Troy says
Farm.
Peter says he wants $200 for Alexander.
Never saw Alexander. Alexander did make an appearance, by the way. You want to make another appearance? Alexander.
Roger Shue said he broke his ankle moonwalking. That was you, Peter, with one glove on, touching yourself. Don't worry about it, Michael. I'll have to explain that one later, okay?
All right.
He knows, I'm sure. That is a legendary story now.
Trey Palomalo says Montana is the real GOAT. He never cheated or cries to the refs like Brady does.
Oh, God. Here we go with this nonsense.
Shut up!
That Mike, President Trump, please tell us where everybody can find you.
You can find me right here, baby. The over-under with the Greek, the freak, Harry. And also, I'm going to get going on something I'm starting up, so stay on the lookout here for the Mad Huddle podcast.
Love to hear it.
Get some things rolling with that. So it's in motion. Just got to get a few things finalized, but don't be afraid to catch me right here with Harry the Greek.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Michael, be blessed, brother. Congratulations.
You guys.
I hope for a
Michael.
very, very healthy baby being brought into this world, man. You're awesome. You're going to be a really great father, but can I make a suggestion?
Always. I'm open.
What are you going to name the baby if it's a boy? Like Mike Ditka or, Gail
Oh,
Sayers?
no.
Don.
No, Thomas Brady.
Oh, Thomas Brady.
Thomas
Okay, just
Brady.
talking about
There
it.
you go.
I got them Bucks, baby.
Take care of yourself.
We actually might be at if she doesn't have the baby, we're going to the Bengals game. We're going to be there. So if you see this big pregnant lady, I'm sorry, not big, just pregnant lady walking around.
I hit the record button.
I heard glowing. I heard glowing.
Hold on.
Glowing pregnant lady. She has the baby. Tom Brady's delivering. So, Tom, if you're watching this, get ready.
Get ready. Michael, have a great day, brothers. Thank you so much for
guys.
coming on the
Thanks for having
over-under.
See you, Michael.
See you
He's
guys.
getting ready to go in the doghouse there. Seriously, with that
Doghouse. Mr. Andrew Davis. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm one of the hosts of Two Giant Goofballs, available on all podcast platforms. So also, we are available on social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Cool deal. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Thank you.
See you, Drew.
Cheers. Wow. And now
Yes.
there's two.
There is two.
Peter.
As Tampa Bay Lightning bobbleheads start to fall down here. It's the evolution of sports talk television on Monday and Wednesday nights on I Love St. Pete, the hub, and Amped Up Sports. And, of course, catch the evolution after the game tonight as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the San Francisco 49ers. Ladies and gentlemen, how do we end off this show? Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And Bucs fans, it's your time. Have a great day.
Take care, Peter. Wow, that was awesome. It really was. Had a really good time today. Special thanks to Andrew Davis from Two Giant Goofballs. My boy Peter Blake co-hosting with me today as well. And you know what? Michael D'Angelo bringing his impersonations on. It's great. Congratulations to him, especially with the new child coming out there. We're going to go ahead and do a real quick recap on the games that I like. And I was talking about that I would be giving out some of the proposition bets. I like the Texans over 6 points, total points for this first half. That means they just have to score more than 6 points. Love the Minnesota Vikings over 12.5 in the first half. The G-Men to score more than 7.5 points in the first half. Go ahead and put some money on it. The Buccaneers, you ready? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over and under for the first half is 7.5 points. Bet the over on that one. And last but not least, the Los Angeles Chargers to score more than 10.5 points. Now, for the games, I love the Vikings on the money line. My pick of the week, plus 140. G-Men, take them plus 7. They're going to actually go up to 8 if you wait a little bit longer. The Buccaneers on the money line, plus 140, and play the under 37. Pittsburgh, minus 1.5, and get this, under 37. Miami and the Chargers, tread very lightly. I do like the under 54.5. Well, that's going to conclude another edition of the Over-Under. And I want to thank everybody for coming onto the show. Thank you for all the people that have made the comments. Thank you for sharing the show as well. I'm your host, Harry the Greek. And as I always say, keep your bets low and your returns high. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great day.